Hey there, it's Josh. Welcome back to Let's Game It Out. We're checking out Chef Life today, and I love anything that's a restaurant simulator, or as I like to think of it, a restaurant simulator run poorly by a madman. Oh, and also, developers, thank you for a key. And also, this video is sponsored by Call of Dragons. First things first is making our character. Hopefully, they're gonna have the same shifty eyes the default guy does. Let's see, muscles all the way to max. Build also all the way to max. Yeah, see, look, he's happy about it. And what kind of hairstyle do we want for him? Do we want sexy, sexier, or sexiest? Or do we want to go, ooh, there's basket weaving happening on the top of his head, and then obviously we're going to give it a nice natural color of purple. Now that's the good stuff. Don't forget the matching beard, and make it a nice green. Oh, and you can do a mustache of a different color. Now we look like a streamer. Am I wrong, or do his eyes look a little more panicked than when we started? Oh, don't look so worried. You're fine. Oh, goody, and there's makeup options? Yep, this is the one. See, he likes it. A great big smile. And now for that nice traffic cone look. And of course with matching pants. Ooh, even better, it's got that prison jumpsuit look. Wait, we need to finish the ensemble. Yes, that's it. We're perfect now. Chef's name, McJumpsuit. Yeah, that's right, Chef McJumpsuit. And here is our restaurant. And behold, it is us, freshly escaped from prison in our fabulous jumpsuit. Okay, here we go. Our jaunty swagger into our brand new business. Oh, and who might this be? This is our associate, Chasm. Basically, he exists to give us moral support. And I'm gonna do my part by skipping all his dialogue. Anyway, let's check out the kitchen. Besides having ample space for power walking, we've got all kinds of prep stuff back here, like a place to cut stuff and prep stuff and water stuff and stuff, you know, kitchen stuff. And then over yonder, we've got all our supplies. So in this case, let's say we need to make this item, fish and green beans. We go over here, grab all the things we're gonna need. Thank goodness everything is properly labeled. Now I know where the fish is. So let's say we want to make this delicious fish. First, we gotta prep it. Unfortunately, the game is pretty automated when it comes to preparing items. Like, it doesn't give me options to mess this up as much as I would love to. But we did waste a whole lot of that fish, so that feels good. And then scoop it up with a quick swipe. And then we take that fish, and then we bread it. And then we take the floured fish over to the cooking station. So let's go over here and get some cookware. And unfortunately, we have to use the right frying pan, or it won't let us cook it at all. But don't worry, we've got other options. So let's put our things down in the prep area, including our floured sole, as well as an open glass of olive oil. And now let's switch the gas burners to on. And then once that's nice and probably too hot, it's time to drop it all in. You see over here where it says heat strength? Why would we leave that at the lowest when we can ramp it to the highest? It's looking great. And the game provides this handy dandy progress bar up here. And then when it gets to the end there, that's when you're supposed to take it off the pan. Or you could just sit there and wait for it to burn. Nummy, nummy, num. And then when it's all ready to go, just snatch it out with your hands. Ew, a dirty frying pan. Better keep the burner on so it just cakes to the whole thing. And the thing is, you can take these pans and wash them out over at the sink, but I didn't go to culinary prison for that. Rather than that, let's just leave it over here. Make it somebody else's problem. Ah, crap, I forgot our green beans. Stupid kitchen making me cook stupid things. Come here, pot, I'm gonna need you. No, I'm not gonna use the burner that's already on. Besides, leaving it on is probably fine. Okay, as before, power on, green beans in the prep area, and then cook. Way too hot and for way too long. Oh, and I can't forget the seasoning. Silly me, that was almost a faux pas. Right now, we only have access to salt and pepper. Okay, where was I? Time to spice. Oh, wait, it's not letting me because it's already done cooking. Well, we can't have that. We need to properly season these. Time to dump this boiling hot liquid into the trash. And the pot is technically dirty now, as is evidenced by that terrible, terrible icon. So we'll just put that over there and, oh god. Anyway, round 2. And now it's time to season to perfection. The game gives us a little something called Chef Sense, that if we use it, it lets us know that we're missing a lot of salt. Okay, here's a little bit. What does the Chef Sense tell us now? Not enough salt, huh? Here's a little more. Okay, now it says it's perfect. But I think we'll be the judge of that. I like a little black pepper. Like 1 swipe, and 2, and 3. You know what? We'll know when it's enough. Yep, there we go. Just a little pepper. Can't forget the salt, though. In you go. Now the Chef Sense is letting us know there's too much salt, and it doesn't even understand why there's black pepper. And that's how you know it's the good stuff. And burnt. What in tarnation? It seems to have lost all my seasoning in the burning process. Better add some more. And that's how you make green beans. Not sure why he's looking around like he just committed a crime. Just put it on the worktop and don't think too hard about it. Leave that for your fantasies. Hey, speaking of fantasy. Have you ever wished you could play an original, immersive, strategic fantasy game? Well then buckle up, because Call of Dragons is calling for you. See? There it is right now. Right there on your Android and/or iOS mobile device. For free. So let me lay this game out for you. This is the land of Tamaris. Home to the elves, orcs, humans, treants, celestials, goblins, halflings, and more. And you're gonna want them all in your vast army as you explore a world of wonders, seeing all kinds of cool stuff, discovering even cooler stuff, and just wandering around a land of constant adventure. And when you're not out traversing the countryside, you'll be planting some roots and building your own fantasy city. And your place will look totally different depending on where you choose to settle down. So expand those horizons and find a place that's right for you. And don't forget about the dragon part of Call of Dragons. Dragons are the most powerful creatures in all of Tamaris, and it's up to you to figure out if they're going to be friend or foe. And speaking of alliances, you'll also be able to choose from 3 different factions in your quest to, presumably, bring peace to the lands. You've also got this thing called behemoths, which is your secret weapon on the road to victory. Work with your alliance to find them, bring them under your command, then set them loose on unsuspecting suckers. Yeah, take that, lesser alliances. So if this sounds good to you, use this QR code right here on the screen, or use the linky in the description and buckle up, take part in huge battles, approach each fight the way you want to, and enjoy the fruits of your labor back at the ranch as you build up your city. And use this code for some free in-game starters. And thanks again to Call of Dragons for sponsoring. Okay, wait, what was I doing? Oh, wait, I actually needed that. It's time for plating. Luckily, I've been carrying that fish around in my pocket and it's gotten ice cold. Just the way they want it, whether they know it or not. And now just a little bit of finessing. And there you have the perfect meal. And the perfect pose. Now, I know this looks surprisingly normal, but this is where we can shine and customize it with our own plating style. First, we're gonna put down our sauces. We're gonna use these lovely gold ones, so we'll put one right there and the other right there. And of course, it's gonna let us fill these containers if we want, or we can put little cool patterns on the plate, so we can do a little splotch, or a halo energy sword, or just a sad little dollop. I'm inclined to use these to draw ourselves a little picture. There we go, looking culinary and sad. Oh, but we can't forget about our green beans. We're just gonna take this cluster and put them right here for the nose, put another one right there, and then put another one right there. Why so sad, buddy? And now time for the main event. Well, why use something appetizing like this, when instead we could do something a little more like that? Or we could do the whole fish, or whatever delicious fish tube this is, but I think I like this the most. My delicious fish flour. And each one of these things takes up a different amount on the plate. So for example, using a whole fish, we can only put one on the plate before the meter is maxed out. But instead, if we use one of these things, we have enough space for 2 of them. And that's why I'm so pumped about this rose, because for whatever reason, it takes up very little of the meter. So we can do 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Yes, good, it's perfect. And now for some last minute decorations. Now, if there's one thing I'll never get tired of, it's fresh basil. So let's try and add as much as possible. Wait for it. Wait for it. And watch, somebody's gonna enjoy it right now. There you go, buddy. Here you go. Enjoy your fish tower. I also didn't make a meal for this guy, so he gets to just sit and watch while the other guy eats. It feels so good to provide the optimal dining experience. Also, why do you guys have like 90 glasses at your table? And then it just kind of goes like this. All these people show up expecting a fine dining experience. I don't know why you're even looking at the menu, because I'm only willing to make one thing. I like this guy looking around like, are we just gonna start before she gets her food? I guess so. Hey, can I try some of that? Oh, sorry, I just finished it all. It was pretty good, wasn't it? Don't worry, we're gonna make the caprese salad that they ordered. After all, it's just tomato and mozzarella. Look how beautiful that looks. Hope you're hungry out there. I've got the perfect meal for you that I'm now gonna go over here and throw straight into the trash. What do you mean responsibility down? Is this because I'm wasting food? And even despite all that, they gave me a stamp of good service. Your customers had a nice time. Looks like I'll have to try harder. And that's pretty much how this game works. And then the next day, we're supposed to be able to do some kind of prep. There's all kinds of chores you have to do that I'm trying to shortcut as much as possible. So for example, you need to order all of your supplies. And there's all kinds of different vendors you can use. See, now this is what I'm talking about. Basic quality, very low price, international origin. And that differs from some of these other places, like agriculture store, where the price is double what I want to pay, but the origin is local. And the reason it's got a green up arrow is if we buy from this place, it increases our responsibility. But why would I want to care about that? This stuff is cheap. I don't care if it lowers my responsibility rating. I don't even know what that means. And then I stare despondently at this icon until the stuff is delivered. And then we take all that crap and we triumphantly march it into the kitchen. This gigantic trough of stuff we're not even cooking. Why do I have lobster and squid in there? What kind of restaurant am I running? There we go, fully stocked once again with stuff we don't need. Okay, that's one of our morning tasks done. Oh, but we're not done yet. Now it's time for a little designing. Once in designer mode, you can design a couple of different things. For example, you can customize this whole counter.
Hey, ready to start the day?
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I interrupting your leaning? We'll just change this thing in the back then. Don't worry, there's all kinds of unlockables just for such an occasion. Right over here in the office, we have a catalog just sitting out. Oh my goodness, my cup runneth over with options. We can buy all kinds of new workstations, not to mention decorative items. But in the immediate, we're gonna unlock, wait, what the hell? Little Italy scooter. Well, sign me up. Ooh, and also let's unlock these chairs, because boy, do they look uncomfortable. Yes, look at these wildly great improvements. Finally, the peak of comfort. We're gonna replace this nice heritage dresser with this. Yes, it's exactly the same vibe. Thank you for letting me add a crappy child's bike. And that's pretty much how it all goes. We get the restaurant all set up, we start service, and then we wait for customers to arrive. And by the way, we're not allowed to leave the kitchen. Every time a day starts, this little bar comes out, keeping all the customers away from the riffraff, meaning the guy that's gonna create culinary splendor. Anyway, the game starts you off with 3 recipes, and every time I have to make them, I try to do as crappy a job as possible. Always trying my best to cook everything in the wrong order, like adding butter too early so the game is confused, and then seasoning nothing, so that this fish ends up tasting like butter-flavored rubber, and then cooking it to burnt perfection before taking the whole frying pan and the meal, holding it out and staring creepily at the customers as I watch in real time as it slowly gets cold, or in the case of these green beans I'm about to make, seasoned to salty perfection. 396 servings of salt, just like we were taught to make it in cooking school. Whoa there, buddy, don't fall asleep. We need to make sure this is properly disgustingly overcooked. See, there we go, there's the magic. And per our custom, don't forget to leave the burners on. Walk back over to the table, who have now been waiting for probably a couple of hours, and let them get a gander of what they're missing out on. Now we're gonna plate the fish first, because as we can see in our inventory, it has reached Arctic status. Bon appetit!
Chef, the table won't be happy that their food is cold.
Oh yes, they will. Taste the nuances of disappointment. And now that he's completely done, let's go ahead and plate the second meal. Oh my gosh, I sure hope they love what I've come up with. Good. I'm sure they're gonna enjoy that meal just fine. This is how it used to look, by the way, before we changed it into this. The beautiful, deconstructed, tentacle monster caprese salad. Oh, and don't look now, there's always more customers. Yes, that's a good call. Seat that one person at a table for 6. Don't worry, lady, I'll make you your fish. And I'm also gonna wait until your patience runs out and your little smiley face turns into a sad face. See, that's more like it. That'll teach you to want a nice meal. Oh, and I figured out a little bit more about the responsibility thing. If you head on over to the computer and you access your dashboard, you can see over here that, wait a minute, I can name my restaurant? Why am I only now realizing this? Staring Felon Bistro. Yeah, you would eat there, right? Of course you would. Anyway, as you can see, we have 2 exciting meters here. One is for hygiene and one is for responsibility. And based on how full our hygiene bar is, it looks like we have a lot to do. Immaculate, very clean, disgusting. And thankfully, our responsibility is at an all-time low right now. Apparently, it gets that way when you constantly throw away food. And as a result, my employees are late to work, we have a bad reputation, and our team morale is very low. Good. Wow, they weren't kidding about the morale. Why the long face? That's okay, I'll just give you some orders in the kitchen. I'm just gonna have you chop French fries forever. That's the spirit. And then when he's done, back to being sad. Don't worry though, it wasn't all for nothing. See, I'm gonna take all the French fries you made, and right into the trash they go. Feels good, doesn't it? Now start making more fries. I'll be making my next creation. Yeah. That's supposed to be steak with shallots and French fries, by the way. Looks just like it, right? Hey, listen, you did a great job cutting all those French fries. I've never been more proud to throw things in the trash. I love that I'm over here plating another masterpiece, and he's just in the background, sulking. And it's always exciting when we make something new, except that's the crappy default plating for this meatballs with garlic. This is our version of it. Now it looks like alien cuisine with a nice line of cocaine for dessert. Oh, hey, and apparently we've hired another chef. Now we have 2 people looking really sad. I need you to keep making beef cubes, please. And just remember, I'm either gonna throw it all away or sell it to this business behind me. Also, I'm pretty sure that's not how you carve meat. You just sharpen it over and over again and get all the knife trimmings on top of it, then you're done. I'm starting to think you work for me because we all suck. I also couldn't help but notice we have a little bit of a problem in the kitchen. And by problem, I mean we're making modern art on the ground because I think it's beautiful. Just all the floors caked in filth. That's how you know your chefs care. Hey, what do you think you're doing? Are you trying to clean this stuff up? You stop that right now. We're gonna let this place be covered in grime and we're gonna love it. Oh my god. Oh boy, our kitchen just keeps getting more professional. Surely they're not gonna be bothered by the lazy T-posing you're doing. Oh, are you ready to order? Uh-huh. Okay, we'll get that right for you. I like that this insanity is happening and the guys behind the counter just don't think this is weird at all. I meant to tell you, you're doing a really great job. The corpse-like stare, the using a sponge on the tablecloth with your mind. That's how you're gonna get ahead in this business. Well, I think I've seen all I need to see. I'm gonna help myself to my latest creation, or as I call it, a feast for the nostrils. I want to thank Call of Dragons again for sponsoring this video. You can check out the game using my linky in the description below, or use this little QR code right here. So I hope you had fun. I know I did, and I'll see you next time.